It's been a really long winter here in the Northeast. We've gotten more snow than I can remember having in a really long time, so I am extra hyped for spring and summer. I'm dreaming of wildflowers and picnics and long lazy days by the pool. So today I am manifesting warm sunny weather by going through all the knits and sewing projects on my spring summer making queue. Welcome to my channel, Woolmeets World. I am Marcy, New York-based knitter, sewist, and lover of a really good to-do list. One of the things that I've been trying to do over the last couple of years is plan out my makes with thought and intention. I really want to wear the things I make and build up my me-made wardrobe. So I try to plan projects that fit me and my personal style. And one of the first steps to doing this is for me to make a little mood board so that I can plan color palettes and just different styles that go with whatever I have in my wardrobe already. I use Milanote and images that I find on Pinterest for this process, and some of the things that I've added to my spring-summer mood board are little details that I'm loving lately, like ruffles, bows, and buttons. I've put some vests, which I'm super obsessed with now, on there, as well as sleeveless high-neck tanks and a nice breezy summer dress. I've been wanting to add gingham in there, as well as some colors that I'm really loving to wear lately, like powder blue and lavender for spring and hot fuchsia for summer, and of course some little black accents, always black, have to have it. So from this mood board, I've pulled a bunch of knitting and sewing projects that I want to do to try to achieve some of these looks. Let's start with the knitting projects. I am just gonna pull my laptop onto my lap here so that I can look down at all the details for all the patterns that I'm gonna share so I don't miss a beat. Excuse me for looking down while I talk here. The first pattern on my knitting queue is gonna be the Geddy tee by Tanis, Lavallee, and it is a boxy V-neck t-shirt with the cutest little crochet details at the shoulder. When this pattern came out, was just an automatic add to my knitting queue, and I knew back in October that I was going to be knitting this for spring. That is when I got my yarn for it at Rhinebeck. So the Geddy tee is a DK weight paid for pattern. It's got 8 sizes from a 39 to a 67-inch bust. So it is very boxy. It's got a lot of ease to it, and you start at the shoulders with the crochet granny squares. You pick up stitches along the edge for that, and then you work the back and the front and then connect for knitting in the round under the underarm. And I just am obsessed with the crochet detail at the shoulder. I think crochet tops or crochet elements in tops are super trendy right now, and it really called to me when Tanis designed this pattern and released it. I just gobbled up all of the pictures on Instagram, and like I said, automatic add into my sewing queue or into my knitting queue. And I bought the yarn in Rhinebeck, and so for the crochet portion on the shoulders, I am going to be using these mini skeins from Fiber MacGyver, and it is their Merino Twist mini bundle. It's 80% merino, 20% nylon. I think there are about 10 colors here. I'm not going to use all of them, but I think I'm just going to pick out like the brightest colors here, like these highlighter greens, yellows, and pinks, maybe like the lavender and stuff like that. I'm going to pick out the brightest colors to go along with the neutral color that I've picked for the rest of the top. And for that, I am using Miss Babs's Yowza, and it is a DK weight base, and it's 100% superwash, 560 yards in this one mega skein here for my size. For the Geddy tee, I will just need one of these, and this is the colorway Denim. If we can see that, yeah, Denim. So I think having bright shoulders here with this nice neutral blue is going to be such a fun spring summer top. The next pattern on my knitting queue is the Top Sole Top by MochiKnits. It is a V-neck vest with really cute little tie details going down the front. It is a DK weight paid for pattern. It's only got 5 sizes from a 34 to a 42.5-inch bust, so it's not for everyone. It will work for my purposes. It's worked flat, back and forth, and worked from the top down, and it's got, like I said, the little bows going down the front instead of buttons, and it has some ease to it, but it's not oversized. It has really deep armholes, and it is knit in a linen weight that is, or a linen fiber, which is what MochiKnits designed the pattern for. So I'm going to be using linen as well. And the yarn that I'm using is Woolberry Fiber Co.'s Berry Linen Base in the colorway Cool Breeze. And it is a 50% alpaca, 25% silk, 25% linen blend. This is the DK weight base. I've used the fingering weight base for, I think, 2 or 3 tops now, and I absolutely love it. This is gonna be my last time working with this because Woolberry closed her doors earlier this year. But this is one of my favorite bases to work with, this kind of linen alpaca blend. So I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for a replacement for this, because just having these summer weight tops with a linen blend like that is so comfortable for me, especially here in the Northeast where it gets really sticky. So having something made out of wool, which I know has heat regulating properties, but it's just too uncomfortable for me for summer. So I will definitely be looking for a little, a different base to make more summer tops in. But for now, I've got this, and it is that kind of powder blue that I said that I was really loving for spring. It's like powder blue, kind of grayish. It might, let's see, I think it's coming off pretty blue in this lighting here. So this is going to be a really drapey, breezy top. The top itself is a little bit cropped, which I particularly like for summer. So, and I think that it's something that you can sort of layer over t-shirts like I'm doing now with this vest that I'm wearing, or you can just wear it on its own. And speaking of vests, I am like super obsessed with vests, particularly since I knit the top that I'm wearing. This is the Avenue vest by Tori Yu, and it is a V-neck vest that's a little bit, it's not oversized, but it definitely has some ease to it. And it's kind of just shown me what I've been missing in my wardrobe, which is a whole bunch of vests. So there are a whole bunch of vests on my sort of queue here, both knitting and sewing. And it's because it's just a really versatile piece to wear. You can, like with this particular one, the yarn is not so next to skin soft that I use. So I like to wear it with t-shirt underneath or a button-down shirt or under like a blazer. So I just think that there's so many layering opportunities for vests, and it's not anything that I actually have in my wardrobe that I've bought commercially. So I'm really excited to make all of the vests. So with that said, my next pattern that I'm going to be knitting is also a vest. One of my favorite looks that I've seen just generally on the internet or walking around in New York City are these striped vests, either button-down versions or pullover versions. And so I definitely need a striped vest in my wardrobe. I'm gonna make mine black and white, or maybe black and cream. I don't have the yarn for this, and I don't have a specific pattern yet, but I'm kind of circling around a few different patterns. So I wanted to share them here as I sort of figure out which one I'm going to use, and then I can go and buy yarn for it once I kind of figure out what pattern I'm going to use, because they are of different weights. So the first pattern contender is the Tolsta Tee by Rebecca Clow, and this I would just make without the sleeves. And I love this pattern so much, I'm going to buy this and knit this whether or not I turn it into my striped vest or not, because there's just so many different options for this tee. It has fingering weight yarn, or it has instructions for fingering weight yarn or DK weight yarn. It is a paid for pattern. It's got options for a long sleeve or a short sleeve. I, again, would just omit the sleeves to make a vest out of it. And then what I really like, it has an extra document at the end of it for all the different variations that Rebecca has in her pattern pictures here. And then it's got 10 sizes and instructions for bust shaping, which I think is a huge deal. I myself don't need it. I have just an A cup bust size, so I never need to add any bust shaping. But for women with larger bust sizes, I think having the addition of bust shaping is super smart. I've definitely seen a lot of videos on Instagram of women kind of taking apart their, like, let's say petite knit tops to add bust shaping so that the, hemline doesn't kind of creep up because of the added shape of the bust. So I just think it's super smart of Rebecca to add this in. And I think she has another pattern. It actually might be a sleeveless vest option, I'm not sure, but I think she definitely has another pattern with like all these different options. So I just think that's a really nice thing for a designer to put out. So no matter what, even if I don't make this for spring, I'm definitely buying this pattern and will be making, I'm sure, many, many tops out of it. My second contender for pattern for this striped vest is vest number 7 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. It is a paid for pattern, DK weight It is a DK weight pattern, and you achieve that by holding lace and fingering weight together to get a like more fluffier fabric. It only has 6 sizes, but it is super boxy, and it's a oversized sort of V-neck with the button down. So this would give me a little bit of a different kind of striped look. So whereas the Tolsta tee is a little bit more fitted, this would be just very oversized. The only thing that I know right off the bat, if I picked this pattern, I would do would be to crop it a little bit. I am quite petite. I'm only 5'1", and I have very petite shoulders and stuff like that. So a very oversized vest that's very long would dwarf me a little bit. So I know that I would crop that. But otherwise, I really like this oversized sort of boxy look to it. So that is definitely a contender. And then the last contender is actually the vest that I am wearing, the Avenue vest by Tori Yu. It is a worsted weight paid for pattern. It's got 9 sizes. And it is a V-neck. It has a V-neck or a crew neck option, which I really appreciate. And it's definitely got ease, but not as oversized as vest number 7. I really enjoyed knitting this. Like I said, this vest sort of showed me what I've been missing in my wardrobe. So I think that this would be a really easy modification to make a vest like that. I'm kind of waffling, like I said, between these patterns, between having like just a pullover vest or a button down, and whether I want it very oversized or more, you know, like less ease around the body. So I'm kind of waffling, and like I said, I haven't picked yarn yet because I've got fingering weight, DK weight, or worsted weight pattern to choose from. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more thinking on that while I knit Geddy and Topsole, but this will be definitely something that I'm adding to my wardrobe because it'll just go with all the cute things that I already have. The last item on my queue is going to be a crochet item, and that is the Emile bag by Suzanne Mueller, and it is a bottom-up bucket bag. And bucket bags have been something that I've been really super obsessed with, particularly kind of the straw ones that you see in summer all the time. And so it's finally time for me to make one. I've kind of been missing having a crochet project on my hook lately. I've got the granny squares for the Geddy tee that I'm going to be doing, but that I'm just going to finish like in one day. So I've really missed having a nice large crochet project to have. So it is time for me to finally make the Emile bag. And I think these like crochet and just like straw like bucket bags have like just turned into a summer staple. And I got the yarn for this quite a while ago, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and I haven't knit it yet, but there are just going to be so many things on my spring summer queue that are going to go very nicely with it that it's actually just time for me to do it. And I am going to be using this Rah Rah Raffia yarn from Wool and the Gang, and I've used this to make a bag before. I actually sent that off to my mother-in-law who lives in Florida, and so it's time for me to make a bag of my own now. It is a sport weight yarn, and it's made of 100% wood fiber, so it's very light and it's eco-friendly because it uses recycled materials. And then like the leftovers, you can actually use it as wrapping, like a ribbon for like gift wrapping, which I think is super fun. And it is in the colorway Hot Pink. I don't know if Wool and the Gang actually sells this color anymore. I looked on the website, I didn't see it, and I'm pretty certain I got this on clearance from my local yarn store. But they still sell Rah Rah Raffia, and it is really nice to work with. The only thing you have to be careful with is, one, getting it wet because it is essentially paper, and then it is very easy to split the ply. It's like a single paper ply. So I have, when crocheting with this in the past, I have put my needle right through the ply. So you just want to be careful of doing that. Otherwise, it is really fun to work with. And I think that this is going to be a super cute bag that is going to go with so many of my summer looks. And I'm excited. I'm excited to have a crochet project back on my hook for summer. So that is my knitting / crochet queue. 3 tops and 1 crochet bag. That is going to keep me busy. There are so many different knitting patterns that I want to do for summer, knitting and crochet patterns that I want to do for summer. But I think one thing that having a mood board and sort of making a like little collection helps with is kind of focusing you. Like I don't have time for all the projects that I've picked probably, but I definitely don't have time to knit and crochet all the things. So I think kind of having this little design process where you make a mood board, where you pull out different elements that you're just really obsessed with now really actually helps with narrowing down your to make list and you know, kind of helps you focus a little bit, or at least it does me. So we'll see if I get all of that done. But let's go down my sewing queue now. The first item on my sewing queue is the Seamwork Auto Vest, and it is a V-neck button-down lined vest with a little bit of shaping at the hem. And one of the reasons I'm really excited to have this on my queue is because I've not done a lined vest before, and this pattern features princess seams, which I have not done either. I think as I go on my me-made sewing journey here, I'm a very accomplished knitter. I've made many garments as a knitter, but I'm still kind of getting my footing as a garment sewer. So I really love picking patterns that are going to bring me new skills. I'm excited to have a lined project and something with princess seams. And this is gonna be a really cute addition to my wardrobe. I am using some leftover dead stock rayon linen from Stone Mountain & Daughter. I used it to make the Seamwork Joss pants. And here are my leftovers. It is in the colorway Latte, so it's this really nice cream color. And it's got a little bit, it's hard to see it, I think it's got a little bit of like shiny texture to it, which I think is really nice. The Joss pants that I made are super comfortable, so I'm very excited to make a little matching vest with this. The really good part, as much as I complain about it, the really good part about being 5'1" is that I'm buying the recommended amount of fabric for these bottom, you know, these like bottom patterns, these pants patterns, and I have so much fabric left over because I have to like cut off length of these patterns. So it's very fun for someone who likes making matching top and bottom sets, and I'm very excited to do this. So I don't particularly have a lining fabric picked out yet, but this is a pretty thick linen. Let me see, you can't really, let me see, I'm gonna see if you can see. No, you can't see. It's a pretty thick. It's not super opaque or anything. So I think I could kind of pick anything to line this, and I might pick something like fun from my cotton stash, like a nice little fun print to have on the inside of that, which I think would be super cute. So I'm gonna go through my stash. I get to shop my little stash and pick out a lining for this, but this one project is one that I'm really particularly looking forward to. The next pattern on my sewing queue is the Sourdough Top by Sew Bake Make. I don't know if you've ever seen her channel. I just love all the videos that she puts out, and her sewing patterns are so cute. So I've really wanted to make the sourdough top ever since she released the pattern, and it is a high boat neck tank with different sort of finishings on the bottom. It's got multiple views. You can either do it in a cropped or full length version, and then you can have the different options for a drawstring at the bottom with ties at the waist, an elasticated waist, or just a regular kind of curved hem with a hem facing finish. So I think I would probably pick the cropped version, maybe with the little ties at the waist or the hem finish. We're gonna have to see how much fabric I have left over for that. I am going to use some leftover European linen from Core Fabrics, and it's in this bright fuchsia colorway. I've made the Sew Liberated estuary skirt with this, so this is going to be a cropped tank to go with that high-waisted skirt with the buttons going down the front, and I am super excited for this one. Like I said, I love a matching set, and I think like a skirt and sleeveless tank set is perfect for summer. And then for it to go with the cute little bucket bag that I'm gonna make. I mean, this right here is just an example of how my brain works. Everything matching and coordinating is just maybe boring, but it is just my dream. So I am so excited to make this one. And if I did the drawstring option with ties, I think that'll be kind of fulfilling my love of little bows. And I've never made a drawstring before, so if I have enough, I would like to do it with that fabric. The next item on my sewing queue is going to be the Seamwork Amber dress. It is a really cute little summer tank dress with a fitted bodice. It's got wide straps and like a kind of square neckline with a gathered tier skirt. And one of the things that I've been really wanting to add to my wardrobe is gingham. So I bought this cotton gingham from Core Fabrics, and it is in a lavender and cream colorway. And it's like a hand woven cotton, so it's got a little bit of texture to it. It's hard to see on camera, but when you feel it, you could definitely feel the nice like texture that it has to it. So I think this is gonna be super cute as the amber dress. And with the little gathers and the gingham to it, I think it's gonna be a really nice addition for my spring wardrobe. And I have the perfect layering piece for it. I made the Come Back Again by Andrea Mowry, and I made it in like a purple lavender color last year. So I'm just super obsessed with lavender and lavender gingham with that cardigan. I think is going to be so super cute, and I just love gathers too. Like a gathered skirt, that's just my dream. This is like a dream project. The next item on my sewing queue is going to be a summery dress. I don't quite have a pattern picked out for it yet, but I do have the fabric. And it is this summer viscose pattern. It's black and white from Core Fabrics, and it is nice and flowy. It's got all sorts of leaves and palm trees and beach balls and stuff. So it's a really cute summer pattern and is gonna make a really nice flowy dress. I haven't quite decided what to make. I've been kind of thinking of maybe a shirt dress to go with this. So one of the shirt dresses that I really love is the Modern Sewing Co.'s Celia dress, and it's kind of a classic shirt dress with like a nice little collar detail, 3/4 sleeves, and it's got a nice little tie and button placket down the front. So I think that might be cute in this. It would be a very rather kind of drapey, not structured summer dress. Or the other dress I've been kind of thinking of is the True Bias Southport dress, which is a tank style dress, again with the buttons going down the front and a little tie at the waist, and it's got some cute little inseam pockets, which I just always appreciate in a dress or a skirt. Some inseam pockets to carry my phone around in with, especially for summer when you're not necessarily carrying your big heavy bag with you. So those are just two of the dress patterns I'm kind of considering. Those are kind of the two that fit really well with the style that I've set out for myself in my mood board, but I am gonna think a lot about this. This is like really unique, very pretty fabric, and I just really wanna get the right dress to go with this, but hopefully I'll find something right just for this. But those are really the two kind of top contenders. And the last item on my sewing queue is going to be another bag pattern. Like I said, I'm super interested in bucket bags, so I might do sort of a denim quilted one. And then the other kind of bag that I've been in love with lately are those sort of boxy, like quilted bags. And I have some black jeans here that I am no longer wearing. I had a really good time making my core belt bag out of some jeans that had been ripped and I wasn't gonna wear anymore. So I definitely want to do the same thing and repurpose these old jeans that I don't wear into something useful like a denim quilted bag. I was originally going to make another core belt bag to it, but the more I thought about it, the more I was thinking, I've been there, I've done that. So I'm just excited to try a new bag style with that. I don't think I'm going to follow any specific pattern. I'm pretty good. I've been sewing bags for a long time, like different project bags and stuff for myself. So I'm pretty good at designing my own little pattern for bags. So I probably will just design my own thing, and I will of course make a video on that if I do. Check back on this channel for that. But a black bag to go with all of these things and to hold all my projects is something that is a must-have on any sewing queue for me. So that is everything that I plan to make in spring and summer 2026. Follow along with me here on this channel if you're interested to see my progress, or check me out on Instagram at WoolMeetsWorld. If you've been with me this long, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.